Hi my loves, how's it going? How you guys doing? Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've seen me before. It's finally time to do my first ever update on my rolling up project plan. I'm so excited for this update because I actually have 5 MTs and I was just as confused as some of you guys might be to hear that because it's only my first update. How the hell did I get 5 MTs? And I think that's just down to the fact that I've used my makeup so much in the month of January. Like I think at least 2/3 of the month was spent with some kind of a makeup day, whether that included eyeshadow or not. Like I was really trying to do my makeup as often as I could. And I've really found, especially during the month of January, that like sitting down for an hour, hour and a half, or whatever it was that I needed, and just slowly doing makeup really helped me calm down my nervous system. And I really liked doing that. And also just like with consistent use, you don't realize like how quickly sometimes you can actually use up a product. And with a lot of these products, it's just like the one product I'm using, for instance, a bronzer or like a powder, I'll keep using one until it's completely done. So I do have quite a few MTs, but I do think that is just down to the fact that I was heavily concentrating on a lot of these products for several months leading up to before I even put them into this project plan. And some of these I wasn't even expecting to have them done for January. Like I thought they might take me like another month or so, but they really surprised me too. I don't think I'll have another like victory like this for like a while, at least as long as I can sort of like foresee. But again, I don't know. I genuinely don't know what happened, but yeah, I have quite a few MTs to go through with you guys. So what I will do first is I will show you all the MTs, then I will show you the products that I made progress on, or whether I've not made whether I've made progress on them or not. And then I'll just show you all the products I'm rolling into this project pan. So if you guys like panning content, I also post some stuff over on Instagram. That's kind of where I get more like close and personal and like share a lot of stuff, especially on Instagram stories, and I also post on TikTok. Unfortunately, for a while, I don't think any of my links are going to work. So if you guys do want to like check me out on other places, everything is just tagged at dailywithdils. I'll try and leave that below if I can. Hopefully the links work. It's just an issue going on with YouTube. They want me to give ID or like do like a facial video, and I don't really know if it's something that I really should do. Like if yeah, I don't know what's going on, but if you guys want to check me out, just it's Daily with Dills everywhere else. But anyway, let's just get right into the update. So as I mentioned in the intro, I do have 5 MTs, but I'm going to talk about this bronzer first because one, it surprised me. I genuinely thought I would have had this for a lot longer than I did. And two, it kind of annoyed me as well at the end. So this is the Nabla bronzer and it's the shade Amber. This is what it looks like now. I will toss somewhere on the screen what it looked like beforehand, but like a side by side here so you guys can see. Um, but this bronzer, as much as I loved the shade of this and the formula as what this product looked and sat like on my skin was beautiful. However, my issue is it's a baked product, and what I found is a lot of the times, even when my brushes are clean and they're dry, this would always get hard pan, and I hate dealing with a bronzer or like any sort of makeup product that you have to really faff around with, and this would pretty much have hard pan on it any use. And I know I wasn't the only one because there's a couple of girls that were panning this on Instagram that I follow as well and interact with on a fairly regular basis, and they've ended up like decluttering it halfway through, or they've just like decided to let it go, or they've had the same issue as well. So it was really reassuring to sort of see that from other people too. I did love the color of this, and if I can ever find, when I do decide to replace the bronzers that I currently have with the new one when it's time for that, I will definitely try to find something on a similar shade to this, especially something a little bit more cool tone leaning. I've never really enjoyed like a bronzer that's too red tone. I don't feel like it suits my skin tone and undertone well, so I tend to try and avoid anything too reddish. But this one I really liked. My only issue was with the formula in like the pan and how much of a struggle it was. Literally every single time I went in with a brush to use this, it would get hard pan, and every single time I'd have to use sometimes something to like scrape it off. Sometimes I was able to just move the hard pan with a brush, but it got to this point and I could no longer use it, and I could only pick up a tiny bit on my brush, but then I'd have to like be heavy-handed with it on my face, and then that just kind of lifted my foundation. So I was like, okay, there's no point in any of that. I might as well call it done. And I realistically don't think I could get anything else out unless I decide to scrape this, but I don't care enough to want to scrape this either because I've had it for a couple of years. I've got 2 other bronzers that I've got to use, and they will take me a long time. And then after that, I have some other ones that I really want to buy. So with all of that, I've decided to call this done. And honestly, I did not think I'd have this done in this update. I genuinely thought it'd take me at least up until March, but we're here now. I'm glad that at least this is one less makeup item that I have. Another product that really surprised me was this Kaleidos lip clay thing in the shade Mahogany. So this formula is, well, at least this particular item that I have, I did buy, I think, back in 2020. So no surprise that it's sort of dried out and it was starting to get dry. I decided to throw this into, I think, my Beauty A to Z project pan last year. And I was just like really slow with using it, but I did get quite a good chunk of uses out of this product last year. And I don't think I even tallied it up properly, but I'm not surprised. I'm not the best at like keeping up with a lot of panning stuff, but I did get quite a lot of use out of this last year, and I decided that because there's only a little bit left and a lot of the product had dried out, I was going to try and use it up this year. However, I was not expecting it to be done in a couple of uses. It got to the point where it's completely dried out, and it generally just looks horrible when you put it on the lips. So I'm calling it done. I'm calling it done, even though there's product in here, but it has dried out. I think a lesson that I've really learned, especially in project panning and especially in the last sort of like couple of months, just like with sort of trying to understand my collection a little bit better, but also where I'm trying to change my focus from buying and like constantly focusing on the new products that are being released to switching that and being more focused on what I already have and seeing and better understanding what I like. I've realized that when it comes to items like liquid lipsticks, I go through seasons where I either really love using them because of the longevity that you get, and then other times where I completely hate them, and that might just be because I might find them too drying, or that's just something I'm not really interested in at the time. So my inventory post will also come out eventually, so you guys will actually see how much I have in total. And one thing I've decided is, even though there might be shades or formulas that I really really love, I'm going to try and avoid, to the best that I can, buying any more liquid lipsticks, because I just generally don't need them. I think if I was to ever buy a replacement liquid lipstick, it would have to be for a shade that's either really unique or have to be a shade where you kind of want it to be long lasting, like maybe like the deeper darker shades, because I feel like sometimes when you use the lipstick, it can sometimes get a bit messy depending on the formula that you're obviously buying and how you're applying it. So yeah, I'm glad that this is done. Again, I was not expecting it to be done, and I didn't expect it to dry out as fast as it did. But I'm not surprised, because I did also take the stopper out, because I was struggling to get any more product up. So that, I think that just sped up the process of this being concluded as an empty. I do have a lot of other Kaleidos. Okay, I say a lot, but I think it's probably like 5 or 6 now, because I did declare quite a few before as well. I do have quite a few others of these to go through, especially from when I initially bought them back in 2020. As much as I love Kaleidos makeup and as much as I'm really like wanting to replace them and go on like a shopping spree, I'm not going to do that, because I'm trying to just remember like what I typically gravitate towards, and it's not usually a liquid lipstick, especially right now in the season of makeup that I'm in. So yeah, I'm glad that I can move this out, consider it as a makeup empty, but it's just a shame. A product I was very proud of using was this one from Elf, and this is the Power Grip Primer. This is the OG one. I'm so glad I used this up. I think when I initially rolled it in, it was literally where that line is. You can kind of see it. And with the amount of makeup days that I did, I'm not surprised I was able to use this up as fast as I managed to do it up. I think there was like maybe one day where I did my makeup twice, but I'm pretty sure I did my makeup at least 21 days out of January, and that's a long time. I think the only days I really missed was the days that I was sick, and that was a good chunk of January, at least like a week and a half. And yeah, I'm just happy that I was able to use this up. I really liked a Power Grip sort of primer. I do feel like it kind of helped a little bit with keeping my foundation on for a little bit longer. However, I did make the decision that I'm going to stop as best as I can buying from makeup brands that are either really problematic, just don't align with my morals, have really poor shade range, just anything else that I find that just doesn't sit right with me. I'm going to try and avoid them. Elf is one of them for various reasons. And also, one of the things I really found and I struggle with is, even though this is considered a drugstore brand, a lot of their products expire very fast, within like maybe a month to 2 months, a couple of months, and you're obviously paying money for the product, but I feel like it just becomes more expensive if you have to keep replacing those products. And is because they were expiring a bit too fast, whereas if you could shop somewhere else, maybe pay a couple pounds extra, and it will last you the actual time that it's supposed to last you. Like on the back of this, it says to use up within 12 months. There's other items that have like 6 months or like 12 months or 9 months, but then the products expire a lot sooner than that. So this product in itself was actually very old by the time I got around to using it. I think I got this back in Black Friday 2023. So for me, this product was already old, but it did survive, which was quite surprising. But I have used other products from Elf that expired too fast for me, and just with that and like trying to be more sensible with my purchases going forward, and also just with the amount of guilt that I carry with like the environment, like bad brands, bad behaviors, just all of that sort of stuff. Like I really want to just do better and be a better person in any way that I can. And yeah, it's one of those reasons that contributed, or several of those reasons really contributed to me not really wanting to buy from Elf. So yeah, I'm glad that I was able to use this and get to try this out. It does make me realize I do actually like a grippy sort of primer, and there's plenty of other brands I can shop from when it gets time for me to repurchase a primer. But I'm happy that this is actually finished. Now, this highlighter, I wasn't expecting to have it used up in the first update. I was expecting it to be at least in here for 2 months. But I think I just tend to forget that one, I can be sometimes a little bit heavy-handed depending on how glowy I want my base to look, especially from like lit from within sort of look. But two, you don't, I feel like I've really not realized how much like makeup, or sometimes how fast makeup can be used up, because I've just not been the best in makeup, especially throughout 2025. That was the year where I had the least amount of empties, which I posted a previous video about if anybody wants to watch. But this Pillow Talk primer is from Charlotte Tilbury. I've had this for I don't even know how long. It's definitely something before 2024. So I think it's either 22 or 23. I had this, and as much as I do love a liquid product, it just isn't going to work on my skin because I feel like I have to use too much powder to set my base and just everything else. I have oily skin, so it just doesn't really work. So rather than wasting the product, not being able to use it, or hating using this on top of my skin, I decided to just use this underneath my foundation. Previously, I was using a skin tint, and honestly, it just looked so beautiful. It was like it made the skin tint look very like glowy, but in like a natural glowy look. And I really, really loved the way that the two products work together. This is where I was last update, and basically it's empty. I can't get any more product out. I actually really like this product in the way that I ended up using it. Would I go back and buy this again? No. It's one, it's way too much out of my budget. Two, it's I had to figure out an alternative way to use this product so that I don't waste it. So I just feel like this product isn't for me. Whereas if you're somebody who can get away with just using liquid products and you don't need to set much of your face, maybe just your under eyes, you can probably get away with this. But I have to be very careful with my skin and my base because unfortunately I do have oily skin. So it just doesn't make sense for me to go back out and buy something like this. Also, it's quite expensive. And again, Charlotte Tilbury's had their own like controversies, especially what they did with, I think was it Trigwell Cosmetics. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But I'm glad that again another product is out. This product I was not surprised that I finished. This is my ColourPop BFF lipstick. Sorry, lip pencil. This is literally as little as I could get it. The entire pencil from inside is gone. I loved this shade so much. And as tempted as I am to do another ColourPop order, because they have so many cute like collabs and just like things that I really want, I'm not going to do that. Every year I tend to buy at least once or twice from ColourPop. Surprisingly, last year I did not do a single purchase, and I'm going to hope that I don't do another purchase at all this year because I tend to like fall into the hype, but then I like go a little bit crazy too. As much as I love this lip liner, I have so many other lip pencils to get through that I don't think that I need to go back out and buy this anytime soon. If I end up knowing somebody who does do a ColourPop order, I can probably ask them to pick up this lip pencil for me if I really desperately want it and if I miss it that much. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure I will still be fine without this, at least for the next couple of years. But this was a beautiful shade. Really loved using it. I just loved how like cool tone it kind of looked to me. I do prefer something a little bit more cooler than this, but it was a nice sort of like coolish toned, neutrally nude sort of color that I could find and use. I was initially trying to use that blush, it didn't happen, so I rolled it into this project pan, and this ended up being the product I use pretty much all the time. And yeah, I'm not really surprised it finished because how much I typically gravitated towards this. I've changed the way I'm trying to pan lip pencils, and that is to mainly focus in on one specific shade at a time. And I feel like that might actually help me get through a lot of the lip liners faster than whatever the hell I was doing last year. But really love the formula of this and the shade of this. This is definitely going on my wish list to repurchase at some point in my life. The next product is the half product that I was talking about. So it's the e.l.f. face palette, or like the duo really. So this is the shade, this is the palette shade is like pomegranate. I've managed to use up the blush, and that 10 out of 10 for me. Did I expect it to be done this month? No, because again, I just don't have a concept of how long an item is typically going to take me because I've not been planning that well and I haven't been doing much makeup. So if I'm only, some months I'd only do makeup like twice in the month. Sometimes I might go up to like 4. And then occasionally, especially towards the end of 25, is when I started to really do makeup more often. So I feel like my perspective on how long it's taken me to use makeup is like really confused. So I wasn't expecting to use this blush up as soon as I did, but this was an old product. The pigmentation did sort of like disappear quite a bit, and it did mean that I did have to use a little bit more product to get some sort of payoff, which did mean that I'd use this up a lot faster. Also, the brush that I use basically just flattens the product. It's quite a thick brush, and I didn't realize how thin it was and how like little was left. So I did manage to use that, but I didn't heavily focus on using this particular blush with as many uses as I could because I'm really trying to get this done. Now, this is all I have left of the highlighter. One of my friends said, and I think she's right as well, because I think this will take me up until at least April to use. And once this is done, I do have two other options I can roll in. This is it's an okay thing, but like this highlighter is a little bit too deep for me. And when I put this on my face, it definitely looks like I have a shadow. So I'm gonna have to be very careful with how I use this. I do have a couple of other highlighters I'm trying to pan at the same time, which is a bit of a bummer, but I think probably the best way for me to use this is just going to be in my inner corner, and hope and pray that by the end of April I will be done with this product, and then potentially maybe use this on my face every now and then to get this done. I tend to struggle when it comes to like a face palette type of product, so I'm trying to avoid getting them, because whenever I have a face palette to pan, in my mind it's just like, if there's a palette like this together, I have to use the products together. I can't just go ahead and use the blush and use a different highlighter, or use a different blush and use this highlighter. Like my brain just doesn't want to accept that. So I tend wow, I can't speak. I then tend to avoid using like my face palettes, and that's why like I think it's probably for the best if I don't buy any more. Occasionally I will end up buying one or two, but they would have to be something that really sticks out to me in order for me to then buy it. But this is the half product. I've managed to use up the blush. Let's see how long it takes for me to use the highlighter. Feel free to drop down what you think or how long you think it will take me to use this. I genuinely can't wait. It's not the best formula, and these only cost like £4. One of them I'm potentially could toss. The other one I really want to use because I really love the blush of it. But I don't know. I don't know. This could take me to March. This could take me to April. It could even take me to May. I have no idea. Also, I probably won't have that many makeup days for half of March and half of it, like February, because it's Ramadan. So I don't really think I'll be playing around with makeup as often as I did for the last couple months. So there is that as well. But let's see what happens with this. I don't want to knock this, but I really want this gone at least before June, because then that will take me like, this will be like a year's worth of use of this palette. But yeah, I managed to use up the blush. That's really nice. The next product is something that I actually didn't get any use on. So this is the Victoria Beckham Pout lipstick, and I have a lot of product in here. This was something I was planning last year. Well, I say a lot, but this is literally all that's in here. I really like the shade of this, and I really love the formula of this and the packaging of this. It definitely is giving luxe. It's giving heavy. It's giving like chic. I really don't like this, but I haven't actually used this one so far because I've been quite heavily focused on some of my other lip products that are part of my Beauty A to Z project pan, and I do have some nice updates for that too. But this one didn't really get the use it deserved, but I think I can only work on like one, perhaps two lipsticks at the most at a time, and I've already got two that I'm really focusing on. So yeah, unfortunately this didn't get any use, but hopefully next month maybe that'll be a bit different. I don't really know, or I might just put this on the back burner and try and finish off those other two or three lipsticks that I'm like from my Beauty A to Z project pan, and then I can move on to this one, because I know that once those are done, that's it. Nothing else getting rolled in. But with this one, I know that once I use this, I'll have to roll in another product. So yeah, it's a bit tricky, but let's see. Next product is this Charlotte Tilbury Pink Chasm highlight blush one situation. I just took my sponges off of this. I just found that it's a lot easier to use when you don't have the sponge. I did the same thing to the highlighter, and honestly, it's just so much easier. So I'd really recommend that. Initially, I was very scared to do that, but when I did it, I realized why everyone always takes sponges off of these products, and you waste less product. It's a lot easier to use and manage and control. So I really like that about this. This, I think, was something I got maybe in 23 or 22. I haven't bought anything from Charlotte Tilbury since at least 2024 that I know of, because I've been actually monitoring any product I bring into my life from 2024, but that's makeup, hair care, skincare, any of that. So I keep an eye on what I have. This definitely wasn't from 2024, and it wasn't in 2025. So it's either 22 or 23, something like that. I've had this for some time, and I've only now decided to use it. I'm wearing it today, and actually, to be honest, I really like this blush. I think it's really wonderful. But one thing I didn't intentionally do it. I just did it by accident. Is I have got three different blushes I'm panning. So this is one of them, and I've got two others in Beauty A to Z, and they're all very much very similar shades. I don't know how I got myself into that situation. That really surprised me, but somehow I've managed to have all three blushes the same shade. So I am now trying to just rotate whenever I can and use the various blushes whenever I can. But I've made some decent progress. So that's the line where it was previously, and I'm basically about here. And I've gotten, I didn't know how many uses because I'm not actually counting uses. I want the whole product done. And if I then add on like counting how many uses, it's just my brain's not going to be able to like manage all of that. So yeah, I've made decent usage on this. I know that I've used this at least a minimum of 3 times, if not I think definitely more than that, because I do actually really like the way that this looks on my skin, and I think it really suits me. Obviously today my makeup is not looking that great, but I really, when my makeup does look nice, I can't lie, this actually looks beautiful. I do have a backup of this, and this is the only blush that I have a backup of, and that's only because I've received it in a like a curated box I bought from Cult Beauty last year, and I really love this, so I decided to keep that one too. And I know that once this is done, that I'll definitely probably end up putting that into use as well. And I know I can use this by the end of the year. So this, I'm really happy that I've made progress on. I do love this blush. This, I don't know how long it will take me. I'm just happy to use it whenever. I'm also in no rush to use this one up, even though I do have a duplicate of it. It's just nice to use whenever I feel like using it. Next up, I have this blush from Made by Mitchell. This is the shade Melon Sorbet, and I'm not actually using this as a blush. I'm using this as an under eye color corrector. Now, the only reason I'm doing that is because I just wanted to be a bit stingy with buying a replacement color corrector, and I had so many blushes, I decided to just move this in because it made kind of sense for me to use this up as a color corrector, and it's done a decent job. I can't even complain. But I do feel like I need something different. So once this is done, obviously the formula of this is probably going to be very different to what a color corrector formula would be. So this is just slightly like a little bit thicker. Even though I use only a little bit of it, it can sometimes be a bit difficult to use. But most of the times when I'm doing makeup, I'm literally just at home. I don't leave the house unless I absolutely have to. So yeah, I mean that's just what I get for being an introvert, unfortunately. But this product I have used quite a lot, and I use it almost every single time I do my makeup unless I completely forget. And I've been using this for several months. I don't know when exactly I started to use this product up in 2025. I think it was maybe around the summertime, maybe a little bit before then, but this is where I'm sort of at now. You can kind of see a bit of like windowing about here, but that's because the product is still stuck on the walls, but there isn't, when you actually hold the light up, it's about here. So I have used a lot of this up, and I just hope that I can continue to use this up. Again, I don't know how long this will take me to use up. I think this will definitely hit till at least May, perhaps June. This will be something that lasts a long time because a little does. I only need a little bit of this, whereas I think if I was to use this up as a blush, it would definitely have been something I use up a lot faster than under eye color corrector if I just solely focus on this as a blush. But I've been using it as an under eye corrector. But once this is done, I don't think I'll have another blush that I can use up as an under eye color corrector, and I will have to replace it with an actual color corrector. But yeah, it's going okay so far. I've not gotten really frustrated with this product, but I do find that a lot of Made by Mitchell products, especially their blushes, expire very fast, and they get that really weird like chemically scent to it. So yeah, this might have to get tossed before it's completely used up, but for now it's working fine and I'm okay with that. The next product is a highlighter, and I will throw up a picture somewhere of what this looked like last update. I have made progress on this Morphe highlighter, and this is what we're looking like now. At the moment, I'm currently really focused on using a smaller brush at the top here to expand this corner, and then a thicker brush here to flatten this out. And when I use that brush here, that's what I use on my cheek, and that's the brush I'll use on my eye. So I feel like I've made some form of a progress on this. This is something that will again last me a very long time. I think this will be here till close to the end of the year, perhaps even till next year. But again, I'm okay with that. This is my, oh my god, I don't know why I'm struggling to speak so much, and I haven't even spoken that much today. This is my oldest highlighter, especially like the powder one, and I think this is something from 2020. So I've had it for a long time, and that's why I really wanted to pan this. And I do actually really enjoy using this. No, I didn't use this one today. I use this one and another one, like I interchange them depending on if the look leans a little bit more pinky. I'll use the other one, and if it doesn't lean pinky, then I'll use this one. But I've really enjoyed using this, and I get a lot of use out of this every month almost. Initially, I didn't gravitate towards this at all, but I did make some progress on this, and I'm really happy just to see the pan expand. I think that's all I really want to see. As long as I can see visible progress, like I'm okay and I'm happy with that, and it makes me feel a bit less guilty of how much I own. Again, it's not okay that I own this much, but it does make me feel a little less guilty about things that I have. And that kind of helps just calm my mental state down a little bit. But yeah, no specific goals for this product. I just want to keep using this. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, which is using my brush here and in that corner to keep expanding that corner there and here as well. So I don't think I'll definitely hit like a corner pan or bottom pan anytime soon, but that is the goal for now. Next up is my Dior powder that I've been trying to pan since 2025, since either the start of 2025, like January, or just the end of 2024. So this product has been in here for a very long time, and I'll put up a picture of the before because the after is a little bit mad, I can't lie. This is another baked product and I've not really enjoyed using this as much. So this is where I am at now. That is a lot of progress compared to where I was with this product before. And as you can see, I've definitely expanded that grid. Like, I made progress on this. Someone did say to me, just call it done because I was really struggling with this product. And again, this is another product that because it's baked, it gets hard pan so fast. And I know I'm not the only one that struggled with this because I know some of the other people on my Instagram that I'm mutuals with that have also used a product that have had the same struggle. So it's nice to know that I'm not the only one going crazy about this. But no matter what brush I use, it can be completely dry, it can be completely clean, brand new, or it might already have product on it. No matter what, this product will get hard pan and it's very hard to use. And also, this is also not the right shade for me. So this is made, my foundation is actually a lot lighter, and I think I just got the wrong shade initially, and I need to probably get one shade deeper. So what this product basically does is just warms up my foundation, so I can't really use it all the time. But in the summertime, if my foundation is too light, then I could use this to darken it and it would be perfect for me. But this product isn't going to last me that long. I don't know if I have another month with this or maybe 2 months. I don't know because I don't know how much makeup I'm going to do for the rest of February and the first half of March. But I've made a lot of progress on this. The only reason I haven't called this done just yet is because of how expensive this product was. And I think if this was cheaper, I definitely would have called it done a while ago. Because of how expensive Dior is, I just can't call it done. But because I can still get product out, I'm still using this. But I'm actually very excited to be done with this product now. It has been one of those that have gotten on my nerves. And I think for that reason, I'm going to try and avoid baked products where I can. This is why it's really important to be more rational with the makeup that you use and better understand what you like and what you don't like. I was on a high and constantly buying new makeup products all the time that I didn't spend enough time using the ones that I had, even if it meant just using it a couple times before buying new things with like a formula that I realize now that I'm not really the biggest fan of. Yes, it looks beautiful on the skin, but I hate how much of a hassle it is to actually use this product. And that is very off putting to me. So, yeah, lessons have been learned in the last couple of months. Lessons have really been learned. The goal for this is just before May, have this done. And I think I can probably hit that goal. Next up is another lip product. This is a lip crayon from Colourpop. This is just a tint Z Boys, and I don't have that much product in here. This formula is also very like creamy, it's something that I use as like a buildable sort of product to get the color that I want. This is how much I have now, and I can't lie, I've used up a lot. I've also been marking this on my notebook, which I probably should have kept closer to me, but if I can find it somewhere. Yeah, so that line that was a little bit closer to this side was original line with, and I roll this in, and the one that's closer to the end of the page, that's where I am at now. So there's been progress. I hope you guys can see that, but there has been progress there. That was where it was before, that's where it is now. A little bit of usage has made a big dent, and oh, I'm so sorry. I'm hoping that it continues on in that way, and that I can perhaps just have this as an empty by the end of summer, because again, I have so many lip products that I'm using and trying to pan. There's so many lip glosses and so many just lipsticks and stuff like that, that I have to like balance out the various products to then be able to use them. Also, this product flies off my lips very fast, so on the days that I have actually used this, I've had to top up my lips quite a bit. And I do find these really hydrating, so I just end up topping up anyway, and it just works as like a moisturizing sort of product for me. I don't think this is available anymore. They discontinued a lot of their stuff, and I think they've slowed down on the launches too, which is kind of nice to see. But this is actually a really nice product, and that's kind of sad if they did discontinue this. I do have two others though, so I'm not too gutted about it just yet. But let's see how long it will take for me to use this. I don't think I'll be done before the summer anytime soon. but it is a really nice product and I have enjoyed it every time I've used it. Next up is an eye pencil I've been using, and I've been using this on and off for the last couple of years. This was part of one of my projects, and I think it was my Beauty A to Z project pan. If not, there's perhaps another project I was planning this in. I can't really remember. But it's my NYX pencil in the shade Lilac. And I have also marked this on my book somewhere, if I can find it. Yeah, I marked this on my book with usage. So that's where I was when I initially rolled it in. And that's how much progress I've made. And to be fair, that's quite surprising because I didn't realize I'd actually used the product that much. But then I don't always take pictures of all of my makeup looks, which is kind of silly on my part. But this is a nice shade. It just adds a little bit of like a tiny bit of color for me on my waterline. It's not the best product for someone like me because it doesn't always show up properly or as well as I want it to show up. And also, this is getting old now, so I really want this done. I'm on a mission to use up some of my old eye pencils, especially shades that I really, really liked before they expire on me. And because I have very sensitive eyes, eventually I will have to stop using this product anyway. So I have two options. Either I use this up or it gets to the point where it's expired and I can no longer use it on my eyes. To be fair, it probably is expired. It's way beyond its expiry date. But for now, it still works comfortably on my waterline. And I'll know the day it's time, like the day I need to throw this away, because literally I'll put this in my eyes and my eyes will be stinging and there'll be waterfalls going and my eyes will be blurry, and I'll know that this is just, it's done for me, and I probably should take my makeup look off. So yeah, I'm really hoping that I can get this done. Again, this is not something that's going to take me like, it's not something that will be done anytime soon. It will take me quite a few months to get through because I rotate through a couple of my eye pencils. There's a black one that I'm trying to pan. There's this one. There's an orange one I'm panning. There's another like greeny aqua type of color that I'm also trying to pan. There's like 4 different eye pencils that I'm trying to pan at the same time, depending on what look I've sort of gone for in the day. But yeah, I've made decent progress on this. This will probably be here at least till summertime, maybe a little bit longer than that. But again, it's a really lovely shade. It's just, this is not something that I think I'll repurchase again. I just don't think it shows up as well as I want on my skin tone. And I'm not even that deep of a skin tone. I don't know how this will show up on others, but for me, I feel like you can't really see it that much, but it just adds a very light sort of like color on my eyes. So yeah, it's not something for me, but it's fine. I just want to use this up though, because I made a lot of progress on this last year and so far as well this year. Now, the last 2 products are both products that are going to be in here for quite some time. The first one I'll talk about is a blush, and this is from Flower Nose. This is a shade Wonderful Festival. So I would throw up my picture of what this was looking like last month, so you can kind of sort of see. The problem with this product is it's quite a light product. So what I mean by that is it's actually got a lot more white pigment in it than it does the pigment of the shade of the blush. So I do have to use up more of this product to get a payoff on me. And unfortunately, I bought all of these back in 2023. I think I bought 2 Flower Nose blushes last year, and I think maybe 2 the year before that. Other than that, all of the other ones I bought was back from 2023, and I regret that decision so much because I bought so many and I did not realize that a lot of these aren't going to work on me. And I've got like light medium, I guess you could call me, I don't really know, but I can still get away with quite a few colors. However, with Flower Nose, you got to be very careful with the kind of shades that you get, because most of them don't really work, and the ones that I really like, you have to like pack on your face. This is one of those shades you really have to pack on your face, and in a sense, it's kind of been useful because this is where I am at now, but it does mean that I do have to use a lot, which does also then mean I can fly through this product a lot faster than I could do with something that was very pigmented. So there's a chance I could be done with this within like a year and a half. Depending on how much I use this. I do have quite a few blushes again that I'm panning. I think I've got 2, if not 3, in my Beauty A to Z project pan. Then I've got the other one in here as well, and then this one. So yeah, I've made progress. I've used this quite a few times. I think I was tracking number wise, so I'll put on the screen somewhere how much I've used this. But I can see like a little dent in here. You guys won't really be able to see it as much on camera, but there's a little bit of a dent in here, and I'm very happy with the progress that I've made with this blush. Again, it's something that will take me a while to do, to even hit pan on, but I'm again okay with that as long as I get some kind of progress. And because I'm tallying how much use I'm getting out of this, that's useful to see as well. Like at least I can see that I've been using this product. And when I do pack it on, I mean, it does look nice, but it just disappears very fast on me. So that's the only downside to this. So I only really ever use it when I'm just doing like my casual looks for in the house. I say casual, like some of them are a bit crazy, but like still, it's just when I'm in the house. But yeah, it's something that I'm not going to repurchase again. And in the future, if I do ever buy anything for Flower Nose, I will have to be very careful with what I buy. Not that I need anything else, but like if I do, you know what I mean? I'm going to have to be very careful with what I buy. The last product in here for things I already had is a palette. And I don't know why I decided to do a pan nut palette as part of one of my items for like running Project Pan. But I've got the Revolution Forever Flawless palette in like allure. I've hopefully shown you guys a picture of what it looked like, and this is what this palette is looking like now. I've managed to hit a pan in one of the shades, and that's only because I used this twice and I had to pack on this product. I love my products to be a lot more shimmery and something that you can really sort of see and like pack a punch. And I don't really feel like this does that. Also, this is really old. This is from back in 2022. So the pigment of this is probably slowly disappearing as well. But I did manage to get this used twice, and that's the one I've got pan on. Can I hit pan on all the other shades before I potentially have tossed this out? I don't know. Again, I just used this twice, but I've been really trying to focus on getting as many palettes like tested out as much as I can. So it does mean that I'm using this a little bit less. I don't want to neglect my other palettes either because I have so many other wonderful palettes. So I'm really trying to find a balance with using this one as well as using all my other palettes that I have. So for the month of January and February, I don't think I got much use on this, but I think after that I'll probably end up spending a little bit more time on this palette. Again, it just depends. Then there's also a chance that I could end up tossing this before I even hit my goal of like using this up. I don't really care because I have so many other palettes, and I do really feel like it was a silly decision for me to make. But it was my oldest palette, and I really love this palette so much because the color story of this and the tones of these are just my favorite, and like it's just so beautiful to me. And anytime I use the palette, I do really enjoy it. And I remember doing a project pan a couple of years ago with someone, and I couldn't do it. I think it was like Battleship Project Pan or something like that, and I failed miserably. I only ended up hitting pan on this one, but we won't even talk about that. It is a beautiful palette, and I have really enjoyed using this. But two uses isn't that great. However, in those two uses, I managed to hit pan in that shade, so I'm happy with that. Really happy with that. But I don't know how this palette is gonna go. This is one of those like um products that is just anything anything could go. You cannot. It's unpredictable. Basically, it's unpredictable. There's no specific goals for this palette. I'm just letting life figure itself out with this. Just nothing serious. Just using it when and as I can, and then if I can pan this completely, amazing. If I can't, that's also okay. As long as I can get some sort of like focused use on this, that'd be great. I want to say like a minimum of 50 uses. I think that'd be really nice if I can get at least that done this year. Other than that, I don't really care. Just it is what it is. Like if what happens happens really. Now for the 5 products I'm going to be rolling in. Wow, this is a very heavy video. But here's the 5 products I'm going to be rolling into this project pan. Some of these are basically replacement within the same category. So like the primer for the primer, bronzer for the bronzer, pencil for the pencil. Some of these, no, I think it's pretty much everything is a replacement of the same category. So one of the first products that I've decided to roll in is this Lacura primer, and I've been using this. The goal was actually to use this up last year. It didn't really happen, but this is how much I have in here. Hopefully you can kind of see that. There's not that much in here. It's definitely less than half now. This was maybe £6, and this has lasted me a long time. Uh, Sometimes I use it all over my face. Sometimes I'll just focus it on my under eyes because sometimes my under eyes can feel a bit too dry. So I'll do that with this product. And I have actually really liked this. This is, sorry, I should have said what this is. This is the Lacura Vita Base Moisturizing Primer from Aldi. And honestly, it's supposed to be like a dupe for Bobbi Brown. It's not a bad dupe actually. And I've just enjoyed using this whenever I do use it. So it just kind of made sense for me to roll in another primer in this one that's not like a mini primer. It's only going to take me like 2 or 3 uses to use. I have enjoyed this, and I think this will be here for a good several months. I don't know how long exactly, but it's taken me a long time and a lot of uses already, and I'm just under halfway now. So yeah, this will be here for like several months. I don't necessarily know how much I'll be able to use this in the summertime though, so this might end up having to be put away when it gets really really hot, and then roll in another primer and then go back to using this in the like autumn time again. So yeah, we'll see how this goes, but this is what I'm going to be focusing on next. For the highlighter, I replaced it with another highlighter, and this is the Made by Mitchell blush in the shade Cheesecake Tease. Now, this is a very sort of white, and I don't necessarily like this. Again, I was going a bit crazy on TikTok Shop, and like this whole hype about like having all these products and like getting the best sales and stuff like that, and ended up buying a lot from TikTok Shop. Now, this shade just isn't for me. This is very pale, and that would be nice in the winter, like proper winter, when I am sort of my fairest. I know it's like February now, and I think I'm starting to like. I don't know if it's like the products I'm using, I'm not necessarily liking it, and it's not gelling well with me. But this is just way too light for me. This is not made for my skin tone. Oh, sorry, my color. But this product I'm now using as like the under highlighting situation, and this product, I don't know how long it will take me to use. The last time I panned one of these, I think it took me maybe like 4 months of use, and that was because it was like a very peachy sort of undertone one, so I had to use a lot less of this. But this one is a slightly different formula to the other ones that I used, and I think I can probably use a little bit more of this than I was, so I might be able to pan this in a slightly faster way. I don't really know, but I did temporarily move this into my eye, like liquid eye category, and then I'm glad I took it back out because there is no way I would be using this on my eyes. It just wouldn't make sense for me to do that. But I like this to an extent. I just know that I'm never going to buy this again once this is done, because that's just way too like pale looking for me. This definitely worked for some white person, somebody who's very, very fair, just not for my skin tone, not for my brown self. And that's okay. You live and you learn. You really live and you learn. But yeah, would I maybe eventually buy one of these like when I need to and use it as like an under like glowy sort of situation? Probably, but I have quite a few of these that will last me at least a minimum of 2 years, that I'm in absolutely no rush to buy anything like this for some time, and that I'm happy with. For the liquid lipstick, I've replaced it with another liquid lipstick, and is another one from Kaleidos. This is the oldest formula. I think this is what I got back in 2020 as well. But this is about here, like down here. So there's obviously a lot of product here, but what I can see is it's like a windowing about here. So that's where I'm at now. I have actually used this quite a few times already before I even rolled it in, and that's how I managed to make a lot of progress on this. And I feel like this is a little bit too light for me, so I have to like go on with a couple of layers for it to really sort of show up. But it is a beautiful, like cool toned, mauvey, purpley like color. It is beautiful. Like I really love it. On camera, it looks very similar to my hoodie, but in person, it's actually not. It's a bit more purpley, whereas ow, I don't know what that was. I felt like I was getting bitten, but I wasn't. But yeah, my hoodie's a bit more pinkish than what this lipstick is. But this is what I'm going to be using next, and hopefully I can have this done by the end of summer. I realize that there's some liquid lip products, they've actually made quite a lot of use, like I've got quite a lot of use on. So in my head, I'm just like, why don't I use up those products first? Because I'll actually be able to move them out of my inventory. And this is one of those products. Like I've made so much use on this over the last several years. It just made sense for me to roll this in. Also, it is my oldest product as well. So that was another reason I put this into this project pan. But I also had the most use on this product. So like it was just like a no-brainer for me to put this in. After this, I do have a couple of other options that I can roll in. I am going to try to just, if I have like a lip if I use up my liquid lipstick, I will just try and replace it with another one, because I feel like that might be the best way for me to like even out some of my inventories, because then I can focus on specific products. Whereas if I have too many of one item in a project pan, it might get too much. So hopefully I can make progress on this. I don't know how long it'll take me, but I'm very excited for this. And actually, to be honest, this formula I prefer a lot more than the lip cloud thing, but they discontinued this, and I barely managed to get my hands on this one particular shade. But it's really sad because I actually really, really love this. I don't know if they'll come out with something similar to this ever again. Um, but yeah, just if I could buy all my liquid lipsticks, I'd probably buy this in this formula. It is what it is. Next up, I have a lip pencil, and this one I've been trying to pan since last year. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to finish it off, but this is all I have left of this. This is my lip pencil in Minute Man. Now, I think this was part of my Beauty A to Z project pan last year, and I made a lot of use out of this pencil. It was a lot bigger than this. I can't exactly remember how much, but I've made a lot of progress last year, and unfortunately I couldn't use this up, and it's fine. This is definitely the year that this is going to go. This is my primary lip pencil that I'm focusing on. I will only use another shade if I feel like I really need to deepen up my liquid lipstick. Sorry, my lip. Yeah, I'll only use a deeper lip pencil or a different shade if I need it for a very specific look. Otherwise, this is the one I'm using all the time. And I've made progress on this already since I sort of rolled this into the project pan. So you guys won't always see that, but from today, you kind of like be able to sort of see this. I think potentially maybe by next update I might be able to get this done, because I think this is how much I had left of BFF and then I managed to use it up. So I don't think that this will be any different. However, BFF I'll use to put all over my lips, whereas this one I'm only using to like lip line. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. This might take me a month, it might take me a couple months, but this is one of my oldest formulas in lip pencils. I really want to use all of these up, and I also really love the formula of this, and I do want to use it up for that reason. And this is the second year I'm using this up, so hopefully this is the year that I get to call this an empty. That would be ideal. But yeah, I'm using this one now. Love the shade, really like the formula, and I'm actually really happy that I can see visible progress on this one too. For the last product, I have my bronzer that I'm replacing my previous bronzer with, and this is a giant thing. This is 8 grams worth of bronzer. It's probably the biggest bronzer that I feel like I plan to use up completely. And this is from Colourpop. This is the shade Summerland Beach, and I got this, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, and I thought I'd get to this a lot faster than I ended up getting to this. But it is actually a pretty nice bronzer. I'm wearing it today. It looks really nice, but it's slightly on the more warmer tone side. I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I do like the formula of this. And this I got because they were discontinuing it, and I was like, oh wait, I actually really want to try this because it looks really cool. And yeah, I got it, and it's giant, and it's a pain in the ass to store. So I decided to pan this one next, and this is what I'm panning now. I don't know how long this will take me to use. The Amber bronzer took me less than a year to use, and that had 6.5 grams, I think, if not 6 grams in here. This has 8 grams of product in here, so this could take me anywhere between a year to maybe like a year and a half, maybe a little bit less than that, because how much I use of this bronzer is going to be slightly less than what I did with the other bronzer, I think. But yeah, I do, so far I am liking this. My like ideally I really want to get the YSL bronzer to test out, and also the Gucci one. I don't know why with my bronzers I want to get those really expensive ones, but I really do. But it would be really nice for me to use up all of my current stash before I treat myself to that. But this is the one I'm going to use for now. Again, no idea how long it's going to take me to use up, because it's now going to be the second bronzer I seriously try and pan. That's like a full size, or like considered a full size bronzer. So I have like no concept of how long it will take me. So I guess we'll just find out together. But yeah, so far I'm really liking this product, and let's see how much progress I can make on that too. That is everything for this update. That was a lot. I don't think I'll have this much to update you guys on next month. And probably the next month after that too. That was a lot. But I'm happy that there's been some kind of progress made. And also I did manage to use up quite a few makeup products, which you guys will see in my monthly empties already. And to date, and we're about halfway, I'm filming this before Valentine's Day, so I've got about 15 makeup empties so far, which for me is very big. And I can't wait to share with you the next lot of empties that I have in the month of February, because it's a lot for that month too. But that was everything for today. I hope you guys liked this very long-winded project pan update, and I can't wait for more, like for the future updates, because I feel like it might be good. It might be good. But that's everything for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next month. Bye.